What's up people, and welcome to my DOLO guide for Corporeal Beast. In this video, I'll be going over how to kill Corp easily. This boss is definitely for high levels only, but you can't really complain since the Elysian sigils are going for 980 mil at the moment. This makes the boss 500k per kill, which would be around 5 to 6 mil per hour if you were including the sigils. Before we dive straight into the video, if you RuneScape gamers are interested or wondering how much money DOLOing can make, do make sure to check out my channel as there are many AFK to semi-AFK guides that can make 5 to 6 mil per hour. Once we get 400 subs, I'll be doing a 200 mil draw party and join my Discord for giveaways as we are giving away a Spectral Spirit Shield. Thank you. And without further more, let's get into it. The stats that you're going to need is to make sure that you have 90 combat stat space and to at least have 94 magic for vengeance. This is definitely the minimum stats since you are going to be dueling Corp and not the usual 4-man. The final stats would be for at least one account to have 82 constructions so that you can make the ornate pool. The gear is going to be a bit complicated since you are going to have 2 sets of gear for each account, but I will get into that later. The types of gear that you're going to need is to make sure that you have 2 Dragon Warhammers. This is a must, and if you do not have this, it is not worth dueling Corp. Another noticeable item that you must have that is game changing is the Ring of Suffering. The Ring of Suffering is going to help your damage and your defense by a lot since Corp will be hitting you high and often, making this ring very valuable. Everything else in the gear slots are pretty self-explanatory, and you can downgrade some items like the face guard to Serp Helm if you do not have the quest or GP for it. If you have more expensive gear like the Inquisitor set, then you can use it as well as it will greatly improve your accuracy for your Dragon Warhammer specs. However, the gear that I'm showing you right now will be more than enough to help you at Corp, so you don't need to be rich to do this. Now the reason why you must have 2 sets of gear when dueling Corp is because you need the gear that has crush bonus so that you can land your Warhammer specs. This makes the kills per hour go by a lot and makes things nice and smooth. A Tyrannical Ring is going to be huge here since it gives 8 crush bonus. Other pieces of gear that can help you besides Inquisitor set would be the Myth Cape and Dwarven Help. The more crush bonus you have, the better time you will be having in Corp. The inventory is going to be pretty simple, and you can look at my inventory and pause the video if you need to. One thing that you need to remember is to bring an even amount of sharks or manta rays with Quorum Bombs. This will help you double eat and survive Corp's massive hits. The kill process for this boss is going to be for you to place your 2 cannons at the spots here and over here. This way the cannons will be hitting the Corp twice and it will be easy for you to kill the core really fast. There are other methods with dealing the core, however the best way to kill the core is to use a cannon. I have tried multiple times to use emerald bolts, but the bolts are not 100% accurate. This makes it very frustrating to kill the core and you will lose a lot of DPS since you aren't hitting the boss. This is by far the best way to DOLO Corp. After placing your cannons, you are ready to kill the boss. In the start, you will want to make sure that you get around 3 to 4 Dragon Warhammer specs. This should be around 2 trips of specs, so if you landed your 3rd spec on your 2nd trip, then you can move on to the next step. The next step you will want to do is to make sure that you do 2 Arclight spec trips, which should be the total of 8 Arclights. Doing this will make sure the boss won't wreck you too much. You can replace the account with a BGS if you do not have an Arclight. After your spec runs are over, you will want to make sure that you lure the boss over to the entrance. You will want to position the boss right here around the cannons and the walls here so that you can hit Corp twice with a cannon. As you can see, the Corp is targeting my other account, which means my main can get into the room and start placing cannonballs in there. Now if you do not have a Crystal Halley, I recommend just using something like an Arclight or BGS spec, as a D Halley isn't really worth bringing since it doesn't do that much damage. But if you want to bring your D Halley, that is completely up to you. Just make sure that it is on stab so that you can get the full damage. The second you use your spec, you will want to make sure that you bring your other account and start using specs on this account, while starting your cannons at the same time. Making sure that one account is right next to the Corp entrance is important, as the core will only go for the account that is not at the entrance. And that's basically it. The Corporeal Beast might move at times, but you should get around 11 to 12 kills per hour. Corp is definitely a boss that demands a lot of time and patience, but with patience, you can expect to make mills and even bills. Thank you so much for watching my video, and remember, once we hit 400 subs, I'll be doing a 200 mil drop party. Take care, and I'll see you guys the next time.